Today what we're going to be doing with Sammy is we're going to be working on a few skills on the ground. We've got our training rope halter, and we've discussed this before as far as how to put this on, how to correctly put our knot on. I do tie the tail up or wrap the tail around the halter just a little bit. I've got a really long lead rope, and here's why. One, it doesn't have a snap because I'm going to be doing some stuff on a circle. I'm going to be moving the horse's body. And two, I need the length of the rope in order to work in that space, doing some walking and doing some trotting. The thing you're noticing about Sammy, and again, we've worked with him before about standing, is one, that he's standing still. Two, we've worked on, while I'm talking, my space. You don't see the horse over here nipping at me, biting at my hands or my arms or those kinds of things. And so you're looking at a horse that we've done a lot of groundwork with. And I'm going to show you some of the ways to use your body, how to move the horse, how to use your rope, and how to put the horse on a circle going both directions. This also helps in lunging down the road. Okay, good boy, Sammy. First, we're just going to establish walking, all right? So when I'm walking with a horse, what I'm doing, he's a little bit slow, you can tell he's a little bit sleepy, and I'm just going to walk with him, and as I pass you, you're going to see a position. My position, my shoulder, is in alignment with Sammy's throat latch. And so when you're walking, you're going to see me stay right where his throat, right where his halter goes behind his throat. My shoulder stays in alignment with this. Now, Sammy's walking a little bit slow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk faster, and if he doesn't walk faster, you're going to see me use my rope about where my leg would be if I was on the horse moving. Notice how his pace got better, okay? He started walking better. The thing you're going to realize too is I'm in a safe position. If I were out in front of the horse, you see a lot of people lead horses like this. And the problem with that, I can't see my horse. I have no idea what he's doing behind me. Okay, so he could step on me, he could step sideways. I want to stay where in my peripheral vision, I can see the horse next to my shoulder. The other thing you don't see me doing, and I'll do this on purpose, is look at this position. I'm not only next to his feet, but now the horse is in front of me, okay? And some of you may have experience leading a dog or taking a dog for a walk. What you see when you take your dog for a walk is a lot of the times the dog are leading the people. Same thing, this is a bigger version of that. So when you're leading a horse, if your horse is in front of you, he's leading you. This is also a dangerous place for my feet to be, and you're also gonna see the possibility of him then circling in front of my body and also cutting me off. So when I'm in the correct position with a horse, my shoulder is lined up with his throat latch. I'm going to move my hand that's holding onto Sammy forward a little bit if I need him to walk forward. I can guide him with the hand that's holding him. This end of the rope is used for different things. When the horse is too slow, I'm going to take my hand and it's going to swing behind my back. And I know that I'm going to move my rope in such a way that taps him right where my leg would be if I asked him to go forward. Okay, my goal is that when I walk with my horse, he stays right with me. Never too far in front, never too far behind, okay? So once I've established this, and I'm working in an arena, you can work in a round pen, that's a great place to do it. There's a lot less distraction for the horse whenever you're working inside a ring or working in a round pen. Good boy. The other thing we have to establish is our halt. When I stop my body, notice how he walked a little in front of me. He almost adjusted himself, didn't he? Okay? He's trained in that way to adjust himself. When I stop a horse, I don't want them to keep walking if my body stops. When I stop a horse, I want them to stop. So we're going to try that again. We're going to walk forward. And if I stop, and Sammy doesn't stop, I gave him a little bit of a correction. There's two ways to do correction. You can do it with the end of your rope. You can see Sammy reacting whenever I'm backing a step or even just pulling a little bit on his halter. You can see him backing a couple steps. I'm trying to keep this position where my shoulder is in alignment with his throat latch. If he were to walk forward, there's two ways to back him. That wasn't a really hard correction. I was able to just put his feet backing a couple steps by pulling back on the rope that I'm holding with my hand that's the closest to Sammy. Another way to back a horse off a rope halter is by turning and facing. This is a little bit bigger correction. When I'm facing the horse, I'm definitely not in front of the horse This is an unsafe place for me to be because that way he can step on me, he can come forward and knock me over, those kinds of things. I'm standing a little bit off center. When I'm gonna back Sammy this time, I'm gonna look right here in the middle of his chest. And what I'm looking for is a direction of intention for the horse to go. So when I'm looking at his chest, my body is facing his chest, and that's the direction I want his body to go. Some horses, even just by doing that, are not gonna back up. Sometimes you need the assistance of the end of your rope to swing towards the horse's chest to make him back a couple of steps. Good boy. I've still got one hand on my rope backing the horse, and now I'm establishing him backing up. The end of my rope is tapping him just a little bit on the shoulder. You can see that. What you want one of your goals to be as you do more and more groundwork is that I should be able to walk towards Sammy, and even if I have to swing my rope and guide him backwards, I don't want to have to tap him on the shoulder. If I want him to move a little faster, you're going to see me tap a little bit harder and make contact with his skin to make him back up. Good boy. He understands his job. He's licking and chewing and with his mouth, and he's giving me an understanding that he got the message. So that's one way to back, is by facing the horse a little bit off center. A good thing would be to practice it from both sides. So don't just back your horse and lead your horse from the left side, which is where we dominate. You also want to back and lead your horse from the right side as well. So we're going to practice this direction. We're going to practice leading from the opposite side. I'm going to switch my rope. When I hold the end of a long rope, what you're going to notice is that I don't have it coiled around my wrist. Okay? I've got my hand that's the closest to the horse with a little bit of slack near him. That's my guide hand. I've got my slack hand not wrapped up in my rope so that I don't get it caught. The danger behind wrapping a rope or holding it or coiling it is if that horse decides to take off, what's going to happen is he's going to take you with him, and your rope's going to be caught around your arm and possibly be drug. And so with a long lead rope, I've just flipped it over. I've doubled it over to where I know my hands aren't going to get stuck in this rope. The other thing I'm going to do from this side, and this is tougher for horses, you have to walk. It's the same thing. I'm walking with my shoulder connected right next to his throat latch. There's the line at which I'm walking with him. He's not too far in front of me. He's not too far behind me. And when I walk, and as I pass by, you'll see it from the opposite side. When I'm walking with him, he goes at the pace I'm going. I'm using my body for that communication, my intention. If I'm walking a little bit slow, he should stay paced with me. When I'm walking a little faster, you're going to see me use the excess of my rope, just like if I were to put my leg on and make him walk faster. Some horses are a little more sensitive than others. Sammy's about in the middle. He's not too reactive to the rope. He's also not under-reactive to what I'm asking him, okay? Now I'm on this opposite side. It's very good to practice leading horses from both sides. Establish left side, right side, because you never know whenever you're going to have to do more things on the right side based on the situation you're being put in. You don't want your horse to think that you're talking a foreign language when you go to walk on the right side of their body. That would be difficult for them. So practicing it does make a difference. Here's my halt. So when I stop him, I want him to stop with me. He's maybe a step or a half step slightly in front of me. And here's the thing with horses. If you allow them one step, they're probably going to take two, and they're going to take three, and then eventually they're going to walk circles around you. And so you don't want that to happen. You don't want the horse to be leading you and putting you in a compromised position, especially for your safety. And so it's very easy to practice. When I stop, I want him to stop with me. I'm stopping with my shoulder right by his throat latch. I can make an adjustment and back him a step if it's a small step. My second option was to turn and face the horse with my shoulders and my intention, swinging the end of my rope and backing him away from my body in that way, okay? Good boy. He's such a good boy. That is a lot of the trouble that we have with horses is just leading them, walking them from place to place. Riding sometimes is the easier part. It's getting them from their pins to the cross ties, and from their cross ties to the ring and to the mounting block even, and making sure that this connection and doing your groundwork, that's going to make a difference in not just your safety, but in your communication and your relationship with your horse.